Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Growing This Home. Today's episode is going to be all about icons and how, the Orthodox Church views them and all the things. So stay tuned.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, but darling, you were meant to survive. With every star.
Okay, so I recently was asked by someone who follows this channel how the Orthodox venerate icons and how we pray to saints and not see that as worshiping false idols. And I wanted to just put this out for anybody else who may be struggling with that. And I'm gonna basically reiterate the same thing I said to her and what Father Evan said to me. As always, I recommend speaking either with your parish priest or if there's like a podcast you follow on ancient faith with other priests, you can go ahead and call in. I know Father Evan does his Orthodoxy live and he does take questions there. So he would be a great resource if you want to speak directly with a priest, which I always highly recommend. And I will try to do my best to reiterate. So first off, I want to say that I too struggled with the concept of icons and saw them as graven images. And when I saw people venerating them, I was like, wow, they're worshiping idols. Okay. And I had a big issue with it. But when I spoke with Father Evan, he basically described it like this. He said, okay, so if your grandmother died and you had a picture of her in your home, and maybe, you would walk by it sometimes and you would hug it or you would give a kiss to your grandmother's picture, would that be worshiping a false idol? I was like, no, of course not, it's a picture of my grandma. And he's like, okay, well, icons are basically the same thing. They're photos, if you will, of people who actually lived, of our saints. And so he's like, we don't see that as a graven image, it's just a portrait of the saints. And I was like, okay, that's a good point. And as far as worshiping the saints or worshiping the saints or praying to the saints, that kind of falls into the same category because how can we pray to saints or ask for their prayers? And this whole idea that if grandma died again, well, not again, but we're using the same analogy here. If your grandma were to pass away and maybe during moment of sadness, or if you're missing grandma, you would just be like, grandma, I really, really miss you, or grandma, can you please pray for me? I hope you're doing okay up in heaven. I really, whatever. Talking to your dead grandmother, that's the same concept of asking from prayers for the saints. These are, again, real people who have lived a very pious life and they've loved God and they've since moved on to heaven, but they are still very much alive in heaven. They're not dead, so we're not worshiping or speaking to the dead. That is completely different. This is just asking your saints, very much oh, please pray for me. They've already lived through a lot of the same things we have. They've lived through a life here on earth, and now they're saints in the church because obviously how they lived and how they responded to all the things. Obviously there's very, very different reasons for why we have different saints. But that's kind of the same concept. So all of that to say, we are not worshiping the dead. We're not worshiping graven images. We are respecting the saints. We love the saints. And this is basically our photo, if you will, of our saints. And we're able to keep them in our homes and think about them often and think about how they live their life as an example. Yeah, all the things. Anyway, I hope that this video helped. If you do have more questions about that, drop it in the comments below or head over to my Instagram at Growing This Home and message me there. I'm always up for a discussion. And again, if you need more than this, I always recommend speaking again to a priest or calling into Orthodoxy Live to talk to Father Evan directly. So, I hope that helped, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.